Right, Shalom, giving all praise unto Yabashima Shai, Bashimako Kodash. Right, double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone. And I honor you, brothers, that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And the brother, everybody are coming out here to give you this truth for the grace and mercy of Yahweh. Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashimako Kodash. Giving all praise unto Yabashima Shai, Bashimako Kodash. Okay, so this is going to be an in-transit video based upon this article that we see here. And this article, basically goes into, you know, this situation that they're gonna have upon the face of the earth, where they can play it a plethora of different ways. Okay, they can play it right with the next, you know, next situation of epic proportions. Right, extrapolate what I mean by that. They can use these universal. I don't even know what word to use anymore. Okay. Universal vexations, okay, there we go. They can use these universal vexations, right, to bring about a lot of things, okay? So, you know, you had the situation play out, and we don't really need to go into that in a great amount of detail. We already know what happened. But remember, that's still on the calling cards, okay? They can whip that out anytime. And you seen the little, you know, a little dribble hezzy with the monkey thing, okay, and you seen a little dribble hezzy, you know, a fadeaway with the bird flu thing. So pretty much they're getting you accustomed to having vexations upon the face of the earth, okay, and they're getting you accustomed to seeking Esau for their help. Now it calls to remembrance that a lot of these movies where Esau be doing the planning and the foreshadowing of what he wants to do, because Esau wants to be like a prophet himself, okay? He wants to have certain things that he says come to pass, of which one of the major proponents of what he wants to come to pass is a reduction of the world's population. So they might use these vexations, these universal vexations, to reduce that population. I'm not saying they're going to do it, but it's entirely on the cards. Remember what the gates of hell said. One of the books that he had, okay, one of the statements that he made was he wanted to, him and his foundation, which, remember, he's just a front guy, okay? There's a whole industry of JOOs behind him, funding him and steering him in the direction that they want him to be steered in order for their dream of a utopia, a dystopia upon the face of the earth to be made, okay? What's the statement that he made? The statement that he made was, or the statement that's associated with him was, that he wanted to bring about population reduction by vexations. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna keep saying that, man. Right? I'm gonna say that. Vexations, yeah, man. That is a good word, in my humble opinion. I think I'm gonna keep using that. Okay, trademark that. Anyways, jokes aside. Pretty much he said he wanted to use the vexations to bring about worldwide depopulation. Okay, that's a thing that's been that's been associated with the Bill Gates of hell. Okay, right? That's been associated to this particular guy for the longest time, and we've seen him and his wife being the front guys and front guy and front woman for bringing about those things throughout the four corners of the earth, right? Via proxies such as the Red Cross and so on and so forth, which a lot of these African countries, they're beginning to realize that every time Esau comes up in there, they pretty much have a spike of whatever they're so-called curing. Ain't that ironic? Okay? Ain't that ironic? But I say all of that to say this. Remember, that's on the cards. Okay? Remember, that's one of the things that they're trying to achieve. Right? Remember that. So therefore, you got a situation out here upon the face of the earth where you gotta be tuned to the right frequency. Okay, you got to be tuned to the right frequency. You got to be walking in the ways of Yahweh Shai, so that you may be protected within your mind to not fall for this deception. Okay, you don't want to fall for this deception, right? And you certainly don't want to be taking one of these vexations, right? Because you can see how they could use this particular situation or the vexations situation to bring about a lot of death upon the face of the planet. I'm going to end it off with this because I can see somebody's trying to ring me, and I think it's an important phone call. I'm going to end it off with saying this. Remember what the scripture says within the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Right? They've said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Just remember that. So with that, I'm going to say, all praise unto Yahweh, myself, double honors unto the apostles of great millstone, and the honest brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. I'll see you on the next one. Shalom.